I still feel like there's a lot of things I didn't really get a chance to see, like who I am, like things that people probably don't know, like me being, I have 2 degrees. I was going to go get my master's to go eventually open up my practice because I was going to get my doctorate and work with autistic children. There's just certain things I wish they would have been able to really highlight, not show the sometimes stereotypical Black girl when it comes to reality. Like, yes, I am very Valley because people are like, oh girl, your voice. I'm like, yeah, I am from the Valley, but there were still things I felt like could have been highlighted. Being a Black woman and still being like, damn, okay, she feisty, but she still went off and has these accolades in her back pocket. No, I appreciate you. And it's the truth. I mean, you can't be the best at everything. And granted, I had 3 months of training. I mean, what people trying to expect me to come out having the best match of all time, like it's a WrestleMania moment? Like, there's only so much you can work with having 3 months. And then on top of that, I was dancing, which I didn't even know how to do. That was like, oh, okay, y'all just throwing all these things at me that I'm like, all right now, we're gonna just have to figure it out. But I've always been like a very determined person, and I love a challenge. So yeah, I was like, we're gonna figure this out. What is going on, you beautiful humans? It's your girl, Ariane Andrew, FKA Cameron, and I am here kicking it with Sylvia The Siren. Let's get it.
Hey, welcome to another episode of One-on-One with Sylvia The Siren. I have a very special guest joining me today. Her career stems from being on Tough Enough, the WWE, Total Divas, and now owning her own promotion, PTW, formerly known as Cameron. Let's welcome Ariane Andrew. What's going on, babe?
What's poppin', Sylvia girl? How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Ooh, are you ready to have a therapy session, girl?
Listen, this is how I always kick off my one-on-ones, because my first question is actually going to want me to ask you, how have you been lately and how has your mental been?
Ooh,
So, yeah.
That is a good question. Okay, I'm gonna save that for therapy next week. But I mean, at least yes. It's been hectic to say the least. I mean, anyone who's an entrepreneur, I feel like, I mean, regardless if you're an entrepreneur, we all go through stuff. But that entrepreneurial life, it is not meant for the weak because, yeah, just trying to maintain a household, traveling with 2 dogs, trying to keep a house together. I mean, bless, because I can sit here and talk about, all the things that are this and that, but I'm grateful, especially being able to put together a PTW. So even though that's been a lot, whoa, if it was easy, everybody would do it, right?
Exactly. No, entrepreneurship is very hard. It's not for the weak. You have to have tough skin for that position, for sure. And I commend you for that. So, we're going to talk about PTW, of course. So for those who don't know, you have your own promotion, PTW. Tell me a little bit more about your product and what specific moment motivates you to build from the ground up.
So PTW, Pound Town Wrestling. I know when people hear the name, they're like,
I love it.
But that's the whole point. I mean, I've always been a little bit controversial. It's never intended, just somehow it happens that way. This mouth, it'd get me in trouble. But wanted to have a name where it made people stop and think like, what is this? Because people are like, ooh, is this after hours? But I'm like, no. But when you are wrestling someone, you're pounding them to the ground. I knew I was not going to get away from wrestling, and I love wrestling, but I feel I had still so many other things to explore. I did acting, had 2 movies come out, made a fitness app, like made an award-winning short film. Like I've done it all, whether it's been successful or it hasn't. And I just felt like this is where it came back full circle. And building this, I wanted to create something where I was able to allow the talent to have a voice, to be seen and be heard. I know what that feels like, being a woman and being a Black woman at that time, and feeling that regardless if you want to say good, bad, everyone has an opinion, just the opportunity wasn't as amazing as it is now. You see a lot of the women and how the diva era has pushed forward, and you can't help your race, you can't help, your height, certain things that it's like those, you can't help that. So I wanted to create something that had a space for people who typically wouldn't have it. Did expect for it to turn out the way that it did with, I would say we have a really good portion of the LGBTQ community, a lot of Black girl magic, which we're going to see for this show, and just a lot of great, just a lot of diversity, and then just bringing wrestling into pop culture Hollywood. Why can't the indies be luxury? Why? I mean, no shade to backstage matches or gymnasium matches. There's something out there for everybody. But
Yeah.
for me, I was like, I want to put that glam on it. I have to let it be a red carpet. Let there be, amazing. Let these talent feel amazing while they're going through this process of the indies, which is not easy. I mean, there's some people getting paid like $20 or a piece of pizza to wrestle, to go and slam your body for people's entertainment. I was just like, at the very least, yeah, I mean, I still wish I could pay them more, but I've been told I pay more than what the typical indies does. But I'm like,
Right.
okay, if I can't give you what I feel you deserve, at the very least, I want you to have this footage, be able to use it to market yourself, have these amazing photos, have a little hair and makeup, and, having catering, making sure that they're fed and that type of stuff, where it's something that's not coming out of their pocket. I mean, girl, I can keep going on and on, but.
No, keep going. That's amazing because the indies, every indie promotion I noticed, they're kind of like similar on how they do their storyline, how they do their matches. It's good to see that you're building this promotion for a different type of creativity, and that's welcoming all. So that's amazing.
Thanks,
Yeah,
girl.
yeah, that's amazing. So, and then you mentioned about Black Girl Magic because you coming up in the Divas era, you was one of the few that was African American. Tell me, leaving the WWE bubble can be a massive culture shock to a lot of performers. From your departure back in 2016 to your return at the 2022 Royal Rumble, how has your perspective on the industry changed?
I always go back and forth because I do feel like a lot of times, and what I'm learning, because especially talking to so many of the girls lately and the relationships I've created now outside of the business, even more recently, so especially with the show coming up, um, I feel like we don't sometimes give ourselves credit. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like a lot of times I hear so many people downplaying themselves, and I'm like, oh my god, like you're one of the people who I was inspired by, or you're one of the girlies who I looked at and was like, damn. And it's like, I feel, because at the time and where things were, that a lot of the women don't give themselves that pat on the back or give themselves flowers, or other people give them their flowers, because at the end of the day, you have to do things in order for people to run. You know what I mean? What do they say? What is the saying? I don't want to mess it up, but it's just like, things just don't happen overnight. You've got to put like the building blocks in order to get to, where you see something, I think, majorly happening. And I feel like back then, people say it, and I mean, I do agree. At that time, I do feel like we were doing things that was pushing the women into a level to be seen and to be heard that typically wasn't, from going to like having little small matches, no storylines, or not getting that time that was needed to really create a story, or just being like, yeah, okay, we're sexy, but dang, okay, let's also be able to provide more than sex appeal. And I feel like even with being on Total Divas, people can say what they want, but I get so many people to this day, and this is throwing it back, and I don't just like harp on things that are in the past. Like when people are like, what are you doing? And someone's like, oh, well, I was a homecoming king or queen. Okay, cool, but what are you doing now? But with that being said, I do think you got to take time to remember the amazing things that have been done that shape, like, I feel like that's not even shaped the Divas era. I mean, Total Divas, you see so many people who knew about wrestling or said, I stopped watching it back when China or Hulk Hogan or around the Rock time, and they're like, it made me get back into wrestling. So I definitely feel, I still feel like I still had so much more to prove at the
Yeah.
time, but everything, all good things must come to an end, and sometimes things don't have a fairy tale ending. And I feel like I just need to be grateful for the time that I did have, and the things that I did do, things that I was just saying this recently, I didn't even know. For like Black History Month, people are like, oh girl, they're like, you and Trin were the first person to get like the Slammy Award. They were like, oh girl, you were the first Black girl to ever get a t-shirt. I'm like, wait, that can't be, that there's no way that could be right. They're like, no girl, like, well, who else
That's
has had
true.
a t-shirt? And again, like, I'm the first woman to ever put my voice onto, that I know of, to put my voice on a track, to come out to my own music. And
Mhm.
I don't get the flowers for it, but it's okay, because I feel like there's someone out there who was inspired by it and was like, oh, okay, she can do it, I can do it too. And I was never the Divas champion. I wasn't I wasn't the best of the best or all the way up here, you know what I mean? But I feel like I was still trying to do my little things, leave my mark and leave my legacy.
That's amazing. So I want to take it back to the Divas era. I was actually a big fan of the Divas era, and Total Divas is the reason why I got back into wrestling. I was into the Attitude era, but then I stopped when I went to college, and then I had gotten into the corporate life. But then when Total Divas came out, I was like, oh my God. And I was a big fan of you and Trinity and also Natty. And my biggest thing, I loved you and Trinity so much because of the friendship. You guys were very, very genuine, and the fact that you guys like were your yin to your yang. Okay, so you had the best mic skills, and I don't, you know what, you were very well in the ring too, which I did love too. So don't even say like, oh, I wasn't the best. You were great, trust me. And I love the fact that you know, you and Trent had this bond together, and it made so much chemistry when you guys used to go out in the ring and go against the Bellas, go against, you know, all the other divas that was on the roster at that time. So I gotta say, like, that's why I'm pouring in to give you your flowers, because I used to love when you get on, might be like, girl, bye, girl, bye. So yes, it was just the entertainment of it all. So, you know, I definitely feel like you made an impact when you were on, you know, the WWE roster. So, you know, it just was an honor just watching, because you guys are the reason why I was watching wrestling. So yeah.
Girl, I appreciate you. And it's the truth. I mean, you can't be the best at everything.
Yeah.
And granted, I had 3 months of training. I mean,
That's true.
what people try to expect me to come out having the best match of all time, like it's a WrestleMania moment. Like there's only so much you can work with having 3 months. And then on top of that, I was dancing, which I didn't even know how to do. That was like, oh, okay, y'all just throwing all these things at me that I'm like, all right now, we're gonna just have to figure it out. But I've always been like a very determined person. I love a challenge. So yeah, I was like, we're gonna figure this out. And when I do think about it and how people used to talk so much shit, I'm like, now I do get it. Like I wasn't on a level of Trent, and Trent, I mean, that girl's athleticism. I'm like, I could have been in training for 10 years. There's just things that she does and did that's just not me. And that's just, you know, that's just not part of my background. Like she comes from dancing. She has certain people just kind of have that skill. And I knew what I excelled at. Like I know what I'm great. I know I'm like, okay, maybe I'm not the best. I'll work my ass off.
Right.
May not still be the best, but I'm gonna do whatever I can to at least show that I gave my full effort. Just like going back down to NXT, like that was a choice that I wanted to do because I'm like, respectfully, I don't want to just be sitting here and catering, collecting a check. Like, I mean, I came here for a reason. I came here, I want the money that I'm making, I want it to be worked hard for, and I want to be able to be a force to reckon with and keep up with these other girls. So yeah, my boo. I was just talking to her yesterday.
Mm-hmm. I loved you guys. Like, you don't understand. I watched this show for literally you three. Like, for real, I loved you guys so much. Seriously.
Thank you. And I just texted Natty this morning.
Oh, you know what's crazy with Natty? I had met Natty at her book signing here in North Carolina, because that's where I'm located. And amazing. Like, literally.
Natty is the sweetest person. And to have the legacy and coming from like the Hart family, just in general, like Bret Hart's amazing. Like, I mean, he was always super kind. Like, I mean, if he wasn't busy, I had asked him to come to part of the signing for PTW. And he was just like, well, please keep me in mind. You know, like he's like that person. I'm like, I'm not going through an agent or a manager. It's like, we're talking directly and being like, hey, I mean, and Natty, for her to have had all she's had and been in the business for so long, she could be cocky. I mean, she really could, but she's just like the most sweetest person. And she's one of those people who gets along with everybody, which is rare. You know what I mean? It's just like a trend. Like Trent got along with everybody. Now me, on the other hand, like I said, that mouth be a little off the chain. And so it was like, I wasn't for everybody. He was like, ooh, okay, Cam, close your mouth now, girl. You popping off a little too hard.
No, you were dope. But let's go back to PTW real quick. So, you know, with the wrestling landscape that's going on right now, are there any particular stars, like major stage or indies, who have caught your eyes that you maybe think that you need them in PTW?
Yes, and it's already happening. So the announcement's dropping soon if their render will drop. So yeah, I mean, gosh, you know, I don't want to miss anybody because I have been doing a lot behind the scenes where it's like even my co-executive producer, Hunter Galler, he's like, girl, you know, this like we got to finalize, get everything done with your match. And I'm like, honestly, like I haven't even with how which creative direction that we're going in, I'm like, I haven't even had time to even think about that, which I know I have to, because it's like I can't go out there looking like shit. But it's like trying to run this and doing so much and having contracts, doing this, like all the behind the scenes, it's a lot. And then on top of having to try to think about like, oh, I got to get gear, got to get this wig together. I'm like over here wearing my little Amazon wig because haven't had time to I'm like, I need something like tomorrow because I got time to order the good stuff because it's going, like, it's just so much stuff that I'm not even, if we go back to your question, so many things I've been like slacking within myself, like taking care of myself, being able to go to the gym, because it's like, I care so much about this show that I'm putting myself last, which I know that's not always good, but I'm like, in order for this to really be what I want it to be, I gotta do what I gotta do. And it's unfortunately, it's sacrificing my well-being, but I know that that's only temporary.
You're definitely putting in a lot of work from based off of the conversation that me and you are having. Cause like we said earlier, like entrepreneurship is very, very hard. But yeah, I do want to go back to like Total Divas real quick and ask like, with it being a massive turning point of your career, looking back, how do you feel that the show has impacted you, the way the fans perceive you today?
At first I wasn't the biggest fan, because I feel like at the end of the day, people sometimes think that, okay, a character, right? Cameron's a character. Now,
Yes.
me, I'm a character too now, because I am just a character. I am. But I'm like, this is a whole elevated version. Like, let's take this and crank it on a 10. You know what I mean? So it's like it's a watered down version of like my alter ego, I guess you can say. Like if I'm in a movie and it's like, ooh, I've always said like, okay, I want to play like one of the mean girls, always being like that villain, and like where people like, oh, I can't stand her. I still feel like there's a lot of things that didn't really get a chance to see, like who I am, like things that people probably don't know, like me being, I have 2 degrees. I was going to go get my master's to go eventually open up my practice, because I was going to get my doctorate and work with autistic children. And that was something I was doing before. I mean, I was doing it all. I was going to school full time, doing my auditions for acting, commercials, and working as a senior behavior therapist with autistic children. So I felt like, especially coming from the life that I've come from, and I mean, I sometimes hate always having to put race, but what it is, it's like not being a product of my environment, especially in the circumstances that I was raised in. And to know that I was able to do that 180, to turn the thing, kind of like set the tone. I'm the first person in my family to go to college. Just certain things I wish they would have been able to really highlight, not show that sometimes stereotypical Black girl when it comes to reality. Like, yes, I am very Valley, because people are like, oh girl, your voice. I'm like, yeah, I am from the Valley, but there were still things I felt like could have been highlighted to highlight, like being a Black woman and still being like, damn, okay, she feisty, but she still went off and has these accolades in her back pocket. You get what I'm saying? So that's certain things I wish. It's like you were only really seeing like Cameron or my feisty moments. Do you get what I'm saying?
No, I get what you're saying. So you basically, they were showing the side of what WWE is showing, but not showing like the real in-depth who you are, like all the accolades that you came with, and just basically everything and all the accomplishments that you made and overcoming.
You know how a cut, like, and I'd be giving RBF, but not even realizing that I'm looking like that, because I have nothing hides on my face, and even if it doesn't mean to come off that way, my facial expressions are just very intense, and even if I am mad, you can see it, but it's like maybe that madness wasn't part of what that situation was, so that I'm over here like looking like, but I'm like, that wasn't even part of that situation, or that happened, you know what I mean? Like that happened later. It's like y'all didn't sit there and made it look like, I don't know, just certain things. But I'm on this gratitude journey, and being like, at the end of the day, no matter what, it was an opportunity. This is sports entertainment. And what I say now, when people are like, would you ever go back to reality TV? I'm like, hell yes. Because just knowing people aren't going to like you. People are going to have an opinion. You could be the best person, but there's somebody out there that's miserable, who doesn't like themselves, don't love themselves, and they're going to try to put you down. Because I'm like, I never understood how people can go on someone's Instagram and write a whole life story or talk shit. I'm like, if you have time to go on someone's page to be negative, you must not, you must need to go, you need to go work out a little bit more. You need to go journal a little bit more. You need to go get right with yourself a little bit more because you got too much time on your hands. Because I'm like, I mean, I know this has been like my saying lately. I don't know if it sounds strange, but I'm like, I don't have time to scratch my ass. So how do you have time to go on here? And I'm like, I just never understood that. Even for someone I don't like, I'm like, cool, I just won't follow them. Like that, it's really easy. Like you don't like them, don't follow them. Why are you on their page? So I just feel like if I could do it now, I wouldn't care. I'm like, great, make me the queen bitch. I'll take it because people love entertainment. And at the end of the day, yes, it's about like it's part of entertainment. So it's just like I wish I wasn't so maybe in my head. And so I am grateful for the opportunity because I feel like everything teaches you something. And it gave me a platform to do some amazing, cool stuff. So with that, at that time, maybe wasn't feeling the most of like, dang, I wish there would have been more shown. But there's always potentially a next time.
Well, how about this? Since we're on the subject of reality TV, would you be interested in doing a reboot of Total Divas, and who would you want as castmates?
So we've talked about this so many times. Yes, absolutely. Okay, so many of the girls now have, got married or have had children. Like life is, life has progressed. So it would be cool to see like the OG cast and then having like, I don't know. I feel like even if it was like a reunion of all of the girls, even if it wasn't like, okay, like for instance, Naya and I, CJ and I we're closer now than we really didn't. I mean, because like our times kind of crossed, but not really. So it's like we've become super close now. But I mean, back then, so it would just be cool to see like all the different side like friendships, like even JoJo, Liv, and CJ are hanging out, and it's just like I don't know. Like there's so many different connecting parts that I'm like, it would be so dope just to even have that. I would even say like a little mini series reunion, like what they did for like Nikki for her engagement. It was like a little short, but just to see like, and that could be a tester right there, just to see like, it doesn't even have to be a full. It's like a cute little, the girls meet, we're at a hotel or a cute little villa, kicking it, reminiscing, having moments, talking about like old stuff, and then even like a sit down thing like what they do now, like the reunions where it's like talk about stuff or do it again. I always have so many ideas, girl, but I tell you, people are like, you are the most creative. I'm like, yes. I'm like, I probably have 3 pitch decks right now, and again, I don't, you know what, I'm gonna put this one out here just like even one that I've been talking to with Zeus, where it's like the Black Queens of the Desert. I'm like, where's never been a show in Arizona? Why isn't there? Okay, but I gotta be careful because when I be putting stuff out there because I get excited because I'm like, but then someone's like, yeah, all right, thank you girl for that idea.
Oh, they'll take that in a heartbeat. They'll take it and run with it. That's why, like, it's so hard with this industry. Like, you don't want to be a gatekeeper, but then it's like, okay, who is genuinely there for you to be able to support you in your endeavors and your creativeness when you want to put something out there? So it's kind of hard. So
it's hard because I mean, like, even with my, I made this to be a TV series, Jaded Pictures. It's like, it's about, a girl, I play Jada, and my co-star who plays Dallas, I'm a fitness enthusiast. I'm all like, yay. Like life is great. They're a power couple. They have this nice car, all these great things. But behind closed doors, it's like literally they're fighting. It's not what you see. Like when you look at the picture, it's jaded because it's she deals with mental health. And he's like, you should take your medicine. But I'm practicing. So everybody been like, oh my gosh, like every day is good. Make sure you journal. Everything is just the opposite of what we see. And I remember giving the script and being like, I'm so scared because there's that potential that they could take that idea and run with it. Like, well, why would I need to pay you when we could just fix, move a few things around and then say, that's why I'm like, oh, can we sign this NDA? And then it's scary because like you don't want to ask people to sign an NDA because you don't want to scare them off and make them feel like, oh, it's that intense. So it is like that. Yeah, you don't want to gatekeep, but because someone is thinking of the same idea you're thinking of. They're just who's executing. That's number one, instead of just being an idea, like who's actually executing, and then who you know.
That too, and who has the financials to back it up as well to be able to execute the idea and the creative aspect of it all. So no, that could be kind of hard. It's kind of like that with the content creating world when you like, throw ideas off to your peers and wanting to share like, ways to like get your views or this or that and third. And it's just like, okay, is it, genuine, or are you trying to still like my contacts and everything like that? And then it's like you don't want it to come off as a form of projection, but it's so hard in this industry. And I feel like every industry related to entertainment has that type of aspect all
Yeah,
across
because
the
it
board.
feels like in a sense sometimes I mean, I feel like I've been so blessed with like PTW and the amount of like, just it's like right now with the meet and greet and like the girls who've been announced, like Layla, like she's coming over my house tomorrow for, like, and we're hanging out. But it's just like all the girls, like all the divas, like so far with the announcements. So far we've announced Layla, Kelly, and Candace Michelle. And then we just announced Taya with more names to be announced. But it's just like, even with like the wrestling aspect of stuff, just to see how people are like, I'm so excited, which I've always, it's funny that I use everything ties in. I've always kind of been jaded because I have had friendships that I thought I was friends with. And it's like, damn, I'm a girl's girl. Like I love supporting girls. Like I don't get jealous. I feel like, yeah, maybe this person has more opportunities or has gotten more stuff, but I'm like, you know what? That's fine. That's their lane. This is my lane, and everyone has their own lane. And sometimes the lane ain't fair. Like sometimes just life isn't fair. But I feel like if you're a good person and you're doing what you need to do, like your opportunities will come. It just everyone's opportunities come at different times. Like this person's opportunity, yeah, maybe they're getting everything right now, but it's short lived. Like everyone just has their own journey. And I'm just gonna spill a little tea. I'm not gonna say names, but I've done things for people when they're like, "What's your rate?" And I'm like, "No, boo, I got you. Like, I'm gonna go do this for you." But when it's come to like, "Hey, can you do? Hey, the favor, like, can you do this for me?" It's like, "Ooh," or it's like, "I can," or "Let me." And I'm just like, "Dang, that sucks," because I'm like, as women, especially because I feel like women have just made that stride of being like in charge, or you seeing like women really out here doing the damn thing. Let's not even put race on it, but just women out here trying to make things happen because we do live in a man's world. Respectfully, I don't want to get too deep in that because I know we can gets a little spicy, and
Yes.
everyone's a little sensitive. But I mean, yeah, I just I feel blessed that the people who have been coming through, because I never thought that would happen. I feel like maybe now it's just like when you see people are hopping on the bandwagon, and then it's like, hey, and that does kind of make me upset because I'm like, oh, you didn't believe in it at first, but now that you see this person is along the ride, you want to hop on. And you know what I've learned too? That's cool. It's not personal, it's business. Great. If this is going to elevate the show and you want to work together and you can do it at for this or as the homie hookup or however you want to look at it, it's like, okay, well, I'm gonna do what's best for the business. And I gotta put my personal, and emotions aside, if that makes sense.
No, that makes a lot of sense because I've always seen that people don't support it from the beginning. They only support what's popular. So
Yes.
it's like it just sucks. But I want to ask my final question, and it's related to PTW. With the show coming up on June 13th at the Avalon in Hollywood, what can fans expect this time around? And who will be your special guest if you could drop that? If not, I
So
understand.
I briefly just, I mean, you probably like, dang,
Yes.
girl, I was going to ask you that question, but just having the meet and greet. So I partnered with LAX Fan Fest, and they do like the really big conventions yearly, where it's like last year their headliner was Bret Hart. Like they do this, and so we partner together, and it's not going to be at, well, I mean, if it gets to that point, that's a good problem to have. It's not as big as the typical convention, but it's a pre-show, I guess you can say, meet and greet. And again, when I dropped some names like with Kelly, Barbie, Layla L, Candace Michelle, Taya, those have been the names that have been. So it's like having that, and it's kind of shaping up to be like a Divas girly type of meet and
Yes.
greet.
I
So
love
I'm
it.
like, yes. And then as far as the matches, it's just like let me just put it out here. It's somebody that every people know who this person is, who will be part of the show, which is so amazing, and it's gonna bring some nostalgia. So yeah,
Okay.
I'm just super. I mean, I don't want to be dropping too much now. I gotta have
I feel you.
people stay tuned and want to come. But yeah, tickets are on sale right now. They're up on Avalon's website, but they're also online on Pound Town Wrestling. But yeah, this is different because one also thing I'll drop. I mean, we had this at our past two shows, but this is red carpet. We have bottle service, so it's like there's a DJ. So this is not your typical wrestling show. It's like a day party. So it's like if you don't like wrestling, it's like you can come have some drinks. They sell food and have a turn up, you know, with the DJ and we also have a special guest host. Yeah, so I'm gonna drop that. Yeah, it's just this is different. It's never been done, and I feel good. And I don't know right now if I'm just in my Black Girl Magic era right now, but I'm just
You are no
being the first
girl.
to ever do this.
Yes.
I mean, again, I don't ever want to say for facts because somebody will find something up in the, I don't know, they'll find it dug in the ground. But see, on this date, but I want to say that I'm the first to ever have done this or whatever. Let's just say woman. I don't know any other woman who's gone out there. And even if they did create a indies wrestling promotion, no one has ever done this. This is different. No one has ever done the whole let me bring the Hollywood luxury experience. I mean, we're going to be off of Hollywood and Vine where all the star plaques are at. So it's going to be I want to say this is a production, and a lot of times people forget that. Even they're like, oh, you know, feud this. I'm like, no, this is a full show on top of a party experience. So I'm like, people don't realize putting on a show, it's a lot. Creating the storylines, getting the Trons together. Woo, sweet baby Jesus. But the one thing I will say, no matter how the outcome is, one thing I know for a fact is that I will know I've given it 100, not even 100%, 150. And that's just anything that I put my hands on because I won't accept anything less than, because yeah, I'm like, I just have to do it and do it right. And that's why your girl be going to sleep at 3 a.m. And
Oh, no.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, but I just want to say thank you so much for coming on my one-on-one with Sylvia the Siren. You're a vibe, Ariane. Like, for real. You are a vibe.
Thank you, girl.
Thank you so much for coming on. And then speaking about PTW too, but before I let you go, could you tell everybody where they can find you at on social media?
Yes, you can find me across the board at Ariane Andrew and then PTW at Pound Town Wrestling. Also, I'm up to put this little plug. I mean, we still are looking for some more sponsors. So if anybody's interested, come holler at your girl. And shout out to Q Care Plus, who is one of our sponsors. And that's just, you know, bringing awareness to when you're living your best life out there. So.
Awesome. Thank you so much again. This was so much fun. This is so nostalgia. We bring it back to the Divas era and then now bringing it back to like with Pound Town Wrestling, having the same type of like, you know, creativity and aesthetics as it was. But yeah, I love it.
You sound the siren, get it pumped like Big Papa, break them off proper, thugonomics, no doctor. Y'all don't put in work, but you talk enough, and the talk is tough. Who your favorite part? We'll chalk it up. Spit an apple in your face like Carlito, the cannon on. I get to twitching like Braun Breaker, the damage on. I could let the trigger go off and trade your boss, and then you dropping down the card, the price of a loss. You shut it down early, blessing. I'm more Monday Night Raw, attrition. I go to 11. My thoughts are sinister. Go run to the minister. You ain't getting the push, better go get your gimmick up. I black out like the Ministry of Darkness. Cartridge hit your cartilage, you jonesing around until a steel chair hit your chest. You should be weird, cause I'm nice with the tables like Carolina X. It's lovely like Laveau, that if you ain't Beyond the Bell podcast, you got to go, yeah. Beyond the Bell podcast, like, comment, subscribe, stop playing and hit that notification bell. Cheat.